If you're planning a trip to South Florida, you already know it's not going to be cheap. But I'm here to share the exact dollars that we spent for two people for 2 weeks in South Florida. No influencer fluff, just honest math. And I'll show you some places that we splurged and some places that we conserved our budget and made some value choices. I'm going to start with accommodations. So we did choose to splurge on 5 nights in the Florida Keys in Islamorada. So we stayed at Marriott's Three Waters Resort and had a great time. The cost reflected that though. We spent over $500 a night, and that was about what I would expect for a Marriott resort, and it was lovely. Glad we spent it, and I would spend it again. To complete the trip, we spent 9 nights in Hollywood, and we chose a mid-range Airbnb condo. So it wasn't the nicest condo, but it also wasn't a cheap budget condo. It was oceanfront, so we were able to wake up to sunrises over the ocean, which was lovely. And it was a great location it was a great central location, so we were able to make some side trips out to the Everglades, down to Key Biscayne, over to Miami. So it was really a great location for us. The funny thing is that the amount of money that we spent on the 5 nights in Islamorada was almost exactly the same amount as we spent on the 9 nights in the Hollywood Airbnb. The difference being the cost per night. So you can see down in Hollywood, we spent a little over $300 a night, as opposed to the almost $550 a night that we paid in Islamorada. All right, transportation. So again, we had a little bit of a combination of some splurges and some value choices. On the value side, I researched flights from Philadelphia to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, as well as Key West. And I found the cheapest flights out of Philadelphia to Fort Lauderdale. So that's where we chose to fly into. And the flights were pretty inexpensive. I think we spent just a little over $400 for the flights for the two of us. And then the splurge that I did was I got one of those offers from American Airlines for $115 per person. We were able to upgrade to first class. Then we also took a car service to the airport. And the reason why is because we had a super early flight. I think it was like a 6 a.m. flight, so there was no way we were getting any friends or family to drive us to the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. And to park at the airport, it would have cost more than the car service. So we were able to get the car service for one way to the airport, and then we were able to get a family member to come pick us up from the airport when we returned. And then we paid almost $700 for the car rental. And again, that's for 2 full weeks. We rented a full-size sedan, a Toyota Camry or equivalent. Unfortunately, when we got to the rental counter, they didn't actually have that available. So they upgraded us to an SUV, a Kia Telluride, which was nice to have the extra space. But to be honest, I think we would have saved some money on gas, which we spent almost $100 on gas. I think we would have saved some money if we had gotten the actual Camry equivalent instead. But overall, $100 for gas for 2 weeks wasn't too bad. And then we did have to pay for tolls. And getting between Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and between Miami and the Keys, there's some toll roads there. So we had to pay extra for the car rental for that. But in the overall, we spent just under $1,800 for transportation. And then food and beverage. So again, we had a mixture of some splurges and some value choices. The splurge that we did with food was really going out for some very nice dinners in the Keys. Many of the places that we went to for dinner had sunset views. They were right on the water, excellent seafood. So they were, we spent more, but that's okay. It was worth it to us. We did save some money by buying a few groceries for the hotel room while we were there. And then we bought more groceries when we were at the Airbnb in Hollywood. We did eat breakfast and lunch inside at the Airbnb, and then went out for dinners in Hollywood. But I'll call those dinners out in Hollywood some value choices because overall we spent half as much as we did in the Keys. So in the Keys, we were spending about $125 a day for 2 people for restaurants. And then in Hollywood, we were spending about $60 per day. And the difference was really we went to more casual restaurants in Hollywood. We did still get some ocean views by going to some beach bars, but we would go during happy hour, and we get the happy hour specials for the drinks. One night we got the happy hour special for tacos. I mean, that was an incredibly cheap night out. And for the bigger dinners that we had out, we were able to keep the leftovers, take those back to the Airbnb, and then reheat them the next day, either for lunch or for dinner. All right, activities. We actually didn't spend a whole lot on activities. It was more of a relaxing, low-key, slow-paced kind of trip. We did splurge a little bit on an e-bike rental. So we rented e-bikes and rode them across the 7 Mile Bridge to Pigeon Key. The reason why we rented the e-bikes was because we're thinking about buying some. We've never ridden them before, and we wanted to give them a try. So that's why we splurged there. But if I were to do that again, I would definitely have gotten regular bikes or just walked the 2 miles. It was, lovely views, and it would have been nice to take our time to do that. We also, when we went to the Everglades, we went to the Shark Valley area, and we took a tram tour, so that was lovely. That was $68 for the 2 of us. And then we also did a food tour in Miami. So we paid $158 for the 2 of us, and it was a South Beach food tour, so it was great for the tour guide to explain some of the landmarks and try some of the amazing food that Miami is known for. On the value side, we went to several state parks. So we went to Fort Zachary Taylor in Key West. That was lovely. We also went to the Key West Lighthouse. We're big lighthouse people. We love to climb lighthouses, so we climbed that one. We also climbed the Cape Florida Lighthouse and Bill Baggs State Park, and Pigeon Key. When we took those bikes across 7 Mile Bridge, there was a $30 admission fee. So all in all, we spent a little over $400 on activities, which was, I thought, pretty reasonable. So overall, our grand total was a little over $9,000, so $9,203 to be specific. And, I was really pleased with that amount for 2 weeks because we had a really nice time in February, which is high season in Florida. And for comparison, we often go to the Caribbean for vacation, and this was less than what we would have spent on 1 week in the Caribbean. So that made me happy. I'm really glad that we went. If you'd like more information about some of the places that we visited, I do have some in-depth videos on Fort Zachary Taylor, 7 Mile Bridge and Pigeon Key, Key West Lighthouse, Cape Florida Lighthouse, so feel free to take a look at those. But we had a great trip, and I hope you have a great trip if you're planning one to Florida. Safe travels.